according to reports and potentially Michael Carrick, really, in the press conference, Matthijs de Ligt may not play again for the rest of the season. Now, a lot of you that will probably say, probably didn't expect him to anyway. It's been an absolute nightmare for Matthijs de Ligt. But it raises the bigger issue. It raises the bigger question of should Man United be focusing in the centre-back department to strengthen in the summer? And the answer for me is absolutely yes. It's a bigger problem. Lisandro Martinez has been out for ages. He's had his fair share of injury problems since he's got here. We can't rely upon that. When he plays, he's fantastic. But he's missed, I saw, 90 games. He's missed nearly 100 games since being here at Man United, which, of course, is not a great return. Matthijs de Ligt, when he's played and been fit, he's been good. He's been colossal. He's been solid. But again, long-term injuries. Harry Maguire, we're probably going to give a new contract, which I back. But we're going to have to use him sparingly at his age. And he's had a few ins and outs. But, you know, you can't rely upon that. And then you've got Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven, who were two young guys who were trying to find their way. We must buy a centre-back this summer. And I don't mean a stocking filler. I don't mean someone to come in and support. I mean the guy, the A side. That's who we have to go out and get. I'm saying it's just as important as other things that we are putting high priority to. Yes, all the talk is about central midfield. All the talk is about a left winger, etc., etc. But centre-back needs to be right up there as a top priority for us next year. If we want to be anything serious. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Welcome back to United View. It is match day. We've got a game tonight. Don't normally have games on a Friday, but they're just using us, you know, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, whenever they want, because we ain't got anything to complain about. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. The boys are back. Kobbie Mainoo and Maguire expected to be back in the England squad. We're going to talk about that as well and everything else in between. Owen, good morning to you, my bro. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to the Morning View. Like you said, Matthijs de Ligt could be possibly out for the rest of the season. And this is a bit of an insight here, Flex. I was nearly out for the rest of the season. Don't know if you know this.
Happened?
Yeah, I was nearly out for the rest of the season. Yeah. I thought,
no. I'm going to have to change that around.
Yeah, I thought I'm done. And then I was like this. I was like this in my chair, Flex. I was like that. You know what I mean? I was done. I was out for the season.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, seriously, Flex. And then I was like this. And then suddenly, something resurrected me. And what resurrected me? I'll tell you what resurrected me. It was only Optimum.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. Two of our own. Owen lost over 100 pounds in 10 months and KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds and Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds. And Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
Yes, let's get to work indeed. You can scan that QR code right there to subscribe and save up to 70% off your first order if you use the code UB. You can get your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals. I'm just presenting.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've got it ready. Sorry, yeah. Sorry,
Wow. Which is good for your weight loss goals. You can get your Optimum Night. Presenting it, there you go, which is good for your restorative sleep. You can get them individually or combined, any which way you please, and you can get Optimized today. Yes, Optimized. Yes, but Flex, we do have a lot to talk about this morning. We are going to be
We do.
You mentioned, Matthijs de Ligt and what it means for him, his future this season, and I guess just moving forward at Manchester United. We're also going to be talking about, of course, some recalls to the international scene in Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire, plus some transfer talk once again about midfielders. There's a lot happening right now in the world of Manchester United. There is a lot bubbling. But first, we'll go to the de Ligt stuff as I put Flex back in every morning. Because it's not really new, but it's coming from the Manchester United head coach himself. So it is certainly significant. We had heard, was it last week, from Nathan Salt and others that it didn't look like de Ligt was going to be playing for the rest of the season, or it looked unlikely, that kind of thing. So Carrick was asked this in the embargoed part of the press conference last night for the game against Bournemouth this evening. And Carrick admitted there is no guarantee that de Ligt will play again this season. He said it's difficult to say just because it's taken that much time. It's one of those things with backs that sometimes you think it's all right, and all of a sudden it's not quite right. He's improving, but it's not improving as quick as we all hope. I don't want to get into that at this stage. I think we'll obviously try and do whatever we can to help Mata, whatever it takes. We're working through that now at the moment, to be honest. So, yeah, it doesn't. The update is it's not great. It doesn't look great for de Ligt. And I suppose we kind of spoke about this the other day, didn't we? We were talking about, look, as far as people will be quite ruthless with this and say, oh, he's got to go in the summer. He's got to go in the summer. If anything, him being injured like this probably rules him out going in the summer. But is this another sign of a proper long-term issue maybe with him, and also just centre-backs in general? Like, this is something that needs to be addressed quickly.
Yeah, it is. I think it's both of those things you said there. Okay, let's do the individual first, because the news is about him and Carrick's addressing him. So I think it's like more respectful to just let's do the Ligt thing first. It's been a nightmare for him, really, hasn't it? Because when like I said at the start of the video, when he plays, even in our worst moments under Amorim, he was someone that we were looking at going, you know what, he's doing really well. I remember a game against Southampton last year. Didn't he score the winner, or he scored from a corner, got man of the match at St Mary's, I remember. And it was the kind of like the kickstart of him doing well and being ever present in spite of what was going on around him. I always respect when players play well in spite of other things. You know, I always say it about Bruno, but it's easy for there to be excuses of, well, my performance has dipped because of this and that. And that does need to be taken into consideration, by the way, because equally, when things are more stable, when you're playing with better players, when the team's better, you get better as well. But I always have a big respect for players that still look the part and are being the part, even though things around them aren't that. And I think for large parts of when de Ligt has played, he has looked like that. You know, I remember maybe even earlier this season when he was playing, we were saying, like, low key, he's having a really good season, actually.
It was like,
do you know what I mean?
Of the
like,
season
out of
vibes, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it
like
was
out of the season. We were saying he's been consistent, he's been strong, he's marshaled the back line really well, whether that's at right centre back, you know what I mean, centre back at the time under Amorim, which feels like I was saying this to someone the other day. Was it you, Owen, or was it someone else? I can't remember, but I was like, Amorim feels like ages ago already. Like, it just feels, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, so de Ligt, yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player, man. But the injuries have started to kick in, and this one has been a real bad one, really. And it's not the first one. It's not the first one, really. He's had little niggles even in the season before. He's always got something where he can't just keep going. So I think on a personal for him, it's a shit one. But he is good. But again, he can't be relied upon, and that's where you move on to the bigger conversation, which I'm sure we'll get to. That it's a team thing, and we have to address it. We have to address this now, ruthlessly, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like I said, I think the injury, if anything, almost rules him out going anywhere. I know a lot of people will go, "Oh, this is why he's not going to go anywhere. No club's going to want to, buy him if he's not even physically ready." I really sympathize with him from the back perspective. In my family, I have people that have had like close to double figures in back surgeries, right?
Oh,
yes. So I know how unpredictable they can be. And also, even with things like surgery as well, sometimes you want that to be like the last possible option with that kind of stuff too. You want to see if you can rehab it without undergoing the knife and what have you because of the recovery time and because of how invasive sometimes that surgery can be. Obviously, they would be getting the best help though. But this was something that I mentioned several weeks ago, wasn't it? When we were talking about the Harry Maguire stuff, is just for me, you want to talk about red flags. I'm looking at the defenders we have under contract across just the entire back line. I'm looking at all of them and I'm going, actually, the majority of these guys have like considerable injury issues or a history of injury issues, you know? So you look at obviously Luke Shaw, we know his history, you know, if anything.
Hey, be careful. I know it's history, but Owen, what are you doing for me lately? You say.
I know, exactly.
Starting every game is what I'm doing lately.
But, well, in a season where you've got to play once a week, next season, oh my goodness me, what will happen there with Luke Shaw? So there's his history. Obviously, there's De Ligt there. There's Leacher, his history. There's Maguire, who's older. And as we showed the other day, the injuries are picking up as he's getting older, which would make sense. So you've got to figure out what his contract situation is going to be. And also, do you want him to be your starting centre-back next season? You know, he's doing well at the moment, but sort of moving forward, going, right, we're a top 3 team in the Premier League. Is Harry Maguire going to be your starting centre-back? Can you do better? You probably can. And then you get into the young guys in Euro and Heaven, where it's they need support. You know what I mean? They can't be the guys, the starting guys. They need support around them. And even someone like Lenny Yoro, look, he had a big foot injury at the beginning of his career. So we need more there. We need more. And by more, I'm not even talking about, young project, he can just be a backup. Well, the evidence is there to suggest that this issue of injuries will probably continue into next season. So when that person comes in for injury or just rotation, they need to be more than just a project. They need to be, you know, someone like you see like Hincapie at Arsenal, someone that he steps in, you go, actually, they're better than just your average backup. They can come in, play, and they're all right, and the team's not going to drop as big. So 100%. Once again, as with all of these discussions we have about all these different positions, we always come to the same conclusion for every single position, which is, well, we need to buy one of those in the summer. You know, we do it with midfielders. We go, need to buy one of those. We do it with strikers where we go, we probably need to buy one of those. Left wingers, we need to buy one of those. It's the same with centre backs. We're going to need to buy one of those in the summer. So add that to the ever-growing shopping list for Manchester United.
And you know what? Yeah, it's so interesting you mentioned Hincapie because Arsenal are so strong defensively and have these type of players, we always use them as the case study. But they are a good example to use. Like Hincapie I just checked that he's 45 million. He's 23 years of age. And let's be honest, in the summer leading into that, apart from the scholars, because you can't speak for them because they do know what's going on. Because he came from Leverkusen, didn't he, Hincapie? Yeah. I don't know many. I hadn't heard of him like that. You know, the scholars would have. But I'm just going to keep it real. I'd never pretend of like, yeah, I know him. Yeah. I'd never heard of him. I'd never heard of Mosquera from Valencia as well because I don't watch that football regularly, right? Okay, still on loan technically, but you know, look at the value. Look how good he is. Look how good he is. Like Mosquera when he comes in, look how good he is. You know, and that is permanent from Valencia, and that didn't cost that much, did it? So it's like these guys are out there from these leagues. I know I challenged us, ironically, to bring me back a Lenny Yoro, the infamous fleck of get me the mini Varane, the up and coming kid from Ligue 1. He's quick. He's this. There's got to be one out there. And listen, he was probably more expensive than what I was actually. I'm trying to say unearth the 20, 25 million. And he's like, fucking what a bargain. But I like Lenny a lot. I really like him. And he's one for the future and he's getting better. But that rugged, you know, Hincapie, Ecuadorian, fucking madman, solid, strong, dependable. He's had a couple of injuries here and there. I get that. But do you know what I mean? Can play centre back, can play left back. Where's our version of that? Mosquera can play right back, can play centre back. We have to do it. Calafiori can play centre back, can play left back. So we have to, we really have to get in that bag. That's what we're challenging Ineos to do. We have to find that because we found Sandro through Eric Ten Hag, etc. But he's very good, but there's injuries. We found Leacher. He signed when Ten Hag was here, didn't he? No?
Martinez?
Sorry, no, not Leacher, sorry. De Ligt. When did De Ligt sign? Yeah.
De Ligt, it was Ten Hag's last summer, yeah.
When we signed Yoro and Zexi as well.
Yeah.
Mazraoui, sorry. Yeah. So we found those guys that are attributed to Eric Ten Hag and all right, cool. Let's leave that now. Let's leave the Dutch thing, the Ajax. Let's leave that. I'm setting a new scouting list. You know when you set up the scouting things on EAFC, you can send your scouts out.
Football Manager. Exclude Netherlands.
Bro, exactly. I've sent them to South America only. Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
want
what
South
manager.
American.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go look for Wonder Kids, potential for like 4 stars, South America.
You know what I'm
Boca
saying?
Juniors, you know what I mean? River
Yes.
Plate, you know, you find them.
Corinthians,
Yeah,
all
you'll
of it,
find them.
bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
all of that. Botafogo, all of that,
yeah,
man. Send
yeah.
them to them, man. There, you know what I mean? Or even go to the second tier in Ecuador. All of them. Find me them mad South American man that are on shit. That's what I want. That's what I want. So,
Yeah, I mean, and even in the summer when it came to Arsenal and they were like going for Hincapié and those ones, there was kind of this feeling of why are they getting defenders? They've already got like arguably the best
yeah.
defense in the league. They need
And
to
this
do
is
that,
why
but
you do
it goes
This
to
is
show,
why.
you know, your defenders they'll drop out, and next season it could again. It's not only the current injury status of these players and their history, but it's also knowing that our schedule, touch wood, is going to be increasing significantly, and a lot of these centre backs or defenders, excuse me, are breaking down when we're playing 1 game a week. So it's a problem. It clearly is a problem. So we need to fix that. As far as De Ligt coming back, I would wonder maybe what his thought process is at this point, because it might be just when you're talking about surgery and stuff. This is why I would recommend people to go watch that Dr. Andre video that we did on it. Is that maybe it might be a case where he's trying to make it to the World Cup of like, I'm gonna keep pushing with no surgery for a while, and then maybe if I do somehow make the World Cup after that, I'll have the surgery. I don't know, but I mean, this guy hasn't played for months now, so I do really, really feel for him. But it does once again just add to the things we have to do in the summer. Certainly, Flack.
Yeah, I agree. We have to buy strong and go strong on that. Get the likes up, people. Make sure you guys are interacting. Make sure you guys liking up the show. It's match day. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Leo says, just give it a light. Just play again, bro. Yeah, man.
I mean, there's something needs to be said about some of those songs. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, some of the KG songs.
Yeah.
I mean, who's he done them for?
Onana, man. Onana, man. Beanie Man actually liked the post, bro.
It.
Like
I know, yeah.
I mean, that's probably the all-time of, you know, obviously Empty the Bank for Anthony. It wasn't quite a song with KG doing the Spinneroonie, Empty the Bank.
No, it wasn't Empty the Bank. It was after he scored in his debut against Arsenal, he said, we didn't pay enough.
Fucking hell, man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so De Ligt now as well. It's just the list goes on, bro. The list goes on. So yeah, peak times. Tabrez. I said, Eid Mubarak to all my UV family. Eat food, drink, have fun, kick back, and watch Carrick's tricky Reds bring 3 points back to Manchester. Glory, United view, up the effing Reds. Yes, of course, to all of our Muslim friends and family. You guys big up yourself, man. It is Eid. I know you guys have been fasting and doing what you guys need to do. So big up to yourselves, man. And now enjoy, like Tab says there, man. Eat food, drink, and have fun with the fam, man. Make sure you guys are doing that, man. Big blessings to you guys. Like I said at the beginning of the show, Owen, the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
Who sings that, Flex? That's what I was going to say to you. Who sings that?
I don't know. I've never known. It's always a song. I've known the song, but don't know. Is it? Wait, is it? It's not Right Said Fred, is it? It's not. No. The boys are back in town. Blur? U2? No. Not Chumbawamba. Like, boys are back. I don't know. It's probably a British rock group or something. I don't know.
Jamie's got it in the chat. It's Thin Lizzy. Yes.
Oh, I've never heard of him.
Doesn't do anything for you.
No. That's like when the dance hall. I go, oh yeah.
I just supposed to say, yeah. I'm having some very strange deja vu at the moment because we're not usually in this situation, are we? This usually very much reversed.
But this is British pop culture. Thin Lizzy, yeah, I got a few of their LPs, mate. Thin Elizabeth, basically short for, isn't it?
Thin Elizabeth.
Yeah. Finn Elizabeth.
See, this is honestly. It almost makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to being in this.
Enjoy it. You don't know when the next time it's going to happen.
Exactly. But yes, the boys are back in town when it comes to some international call-ups because I don't think announcements have still been made just yet, but everyone's going to know who's in the squad because every single journalist is reporting it this morning. But Kobbie Mainoo is going to be or expected to be included in Thomas Tuchel's England squad this morning. This is the first time that Kobbie has been called up under Tuchel. He hasn't played, amazingly, for England since the Euros final in Berlin in the summer of 2024. The last game played was the Euros final. He's literally. He's not the only United player back in because Harry Maguire also is back in the England squad. He's set to win his first call-up under Thomas Tuchel as well. When was the last time he played for England? Because he didn't even go to the Euros, did he? Because he was injured at the time.
Exactly.
So that would have been, even even longer. But Cobby's back. We were actually having this discussion just before we started Flex, talking about, because I'll be honest, with all that was going on with Ruben Amorim and Cobby earlier this season, and then once Amorim went, I didn't even think, I thought, maybe it's a little bit too late for Cobby to get back in the England squad, because it was only January and you go, there's only one more, international break, and maybe Thomas Tuchel's kind of set. But I suppose fair play to Tuchel in the sense that he's just gone by, this is the last chance to have a look at these players. So I'll have a look. I don't know if it guarantees he'll be there in the summer. But it also keeps Tuchel as a man of his word that if you're playing at your club, you'll get a look. If you're not playing, I can't pick you. But it's a remarkable turnaround, absolutely remarkable turnaround. And I'm very happy for both of them. And I was thinking this too, when we were talking, think of the power that Thomas Tuchel does hold, because, when Man United have been doing bad over the last, however many months, but certainly the last year, 18 months, it got so bad that not only in the league were we like 15th and doing terrible, but we were even having these international breaks where there'd be no Man United player in an England squad, which was unheard of. Like, that was unheard of. And that was like a real sign of how bad Man United are doing. Not only are they doing shit in the league and they're losing every single week and they're the laughing stock at a national level, you can't even get a Man United player in the England squad. And just think, like, Thomas Tuchel, he's got that like perception power in his hands. Man United are doing well, they're winning games, one of the most informed teams in the league. And then you call up a couple of United players and it's like, oh, right, Man United, they're back now. They're sort of, back at that sort of elite.
Doing what they're meant to do. This is how they're meant to do. This is how it goes. Yeah.
Exactly. The heck of a turnaround.
Yeah, it is. And also, to be fair to us, though, even in our worst moments, it's been more of an England thing, because all the other players get picked for their countries, that the Brazil players do, the Portuguese players do. Who else have we got? The African players have also gone. Dutch sometimes, actually. De Ligt got back in by getting back in at us, actually, and was in the last couple of teams. Yeah. He was playing well. So, yeah, it does go. If you play well at Man United consistently, you're going to get in your national team. But even in spite of Man United doing shit, Bruno always gets in, obviously. Dalot always gets in the Portuguese squad, even though he's been up and down. We've been up and down. There's certain guys who always get in. But it's, it does show that Tuchel means what he says and says what he means. And it is interesting that Cobby's done this, because as soon as he started playing again, I was saying, a couple of commentators, things I was doing at TalkSport as well, I was like, yeah, I think those three can get back in. There's every chance they can. I think now Nico O'Reilly's, he's done really well. Lewis Hall's been excellent. Probably Luke Shaw, he's probably just gone not quite yet. Not for me, even though he has been starting every game. But for the demands of what Tuchel wants, maybe he might look at Shaw and go, nah, I think these kids I've got what I need there. They're modern day fullbacks. They're gone. Especially Lewis Shaw, he's playing out of his skin.
It's just saying, Sammy Mockball from BBC has just said that Luke Shaw is not expected to be called up to the England squad for the upcoming friendly. So, despite
Luke, going to see his two mates. We've all been out for ages. We all got a chance, and then Harry and Cobby go on.
Well, he's probably like as well. I've played all season, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's played more out of all of them. But
maybe that's an indication of like that. Nothing's really changed for Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? Nothing's really changed for him. He's been playing all season, really, and he hasn't had a look in. So just because what change now?
Yeah, that's true. But with the Cobby thing, exactly that. Like we were talking before we went live. Like Cobby's had some stick from even our guys, even our some of our fans, a couple of games back. Oh, remember? Then all of a sudden now everyone's doing big threads on why he's not that good and what does he actually offer. And I had to call one guy out who's like, I am a fan of Cobby, but and I just quote returned. So what are you a fan of? You've just listed everything he does wrong. You're not a fan then, are you? You don't like him. You don't rate him. Just say you don't rate him, bro. Stop trying to save face. If you're gonna do it, all these little tactical people on X that do all the big long threads and stuff, that's fine. But own it. Don't be like, oh, I'm a huge fan, but he doesn't do this. He's not this profile. He's not that profile. Well, what are you a big fan of then? What are you a big fan of, mate? Do you know what I mean? Not enough left of him, mate. You've gone full Roy Keane. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Well, you're not a big fan. There's nothing there.
That's like me, like, let's go, I'm a big fan of Flex. Listen to all your faults and go, I like your hat, sir. You go, well, that's not even me.
It's mad, bro. Some of these guys on X, honestly, anything for engagement, bro. So anyway, that was a trend for about 3 days. because he had a decent get. He played at like a 6 or something, while other people played a bit higher. And it's like, Kobe's not doing this. He doesn't give you that. He doesn't give you that. Thomas Tuchel's gone. I love a bit of that. Let me have a look at that, mate. I love a look at that. I know he can play at high level. So I mean, my prediction is that he does well in these two camps. It's not a guarantee to be on the plane to America, of course not. But I'm going to back Kobe as long as Tuchel gives him an opportunity in these two games, which he should. Obviously, that's the whole point. I'm going to back Kobe to show a bit and show enough through the training that we're not going to be privy to. Because it's not just about, you've got 40 minutes to prove to me you can. This doesn't work like that. He's going to have a look at him, how he trains, how he fits in the drills, how does he compete amongst the other players in training. I back Kobe to be dropping shoulders and playing along with Rice in the training, and Tuchel and the coaches go, yeah, he's good, isn't he? That's what I expect. And then obviously you get some minutes against Japan and whoever else is playing against, and then go from there. I fully expect that.
Yeah, I just was seeing there that they were also saying that like James Garner is probably going to be in the England squad as well. So it does appear to be a squad where maybe Tuchel is getting a look at people. He's having a look, and we saw it. This is the reason why Kobe had such a meteoric rise in the England squad in the first place. Is remember the first call up he had, he was meant to be an under 23s, wasn't he? And then he got there to Stockley Park, and it was all right. Actually, let's just put him in the first team squad. He's too good. And then seeing him play with other very good players, noticed that he fit in very well. But you know what? You bring up a really interesting point there, Flex. With this whole discussion about him recently, because I've seen that too. With sometimes we'll play a game and we'll win, and Kobe maybe won't stand out. I wouldn't say he plays bad. He just kind of, he's like a 6 out of 10 maybe, or something like that, which is fine. And you do see this discussion of, Kobe, he was rubbish there, or he didn't do anything. What does he offer? And I was just about to ask you that sort of question. What do you think it is people expect from him in this Man United team? And actually just generally to the chat, what is it that we expect of him in the Man United team? What are we looking for him to do? Because the more I think about it, I'm trying to sort of figure, like, what is his role in the team? What do I expect from Kobe Mainoo every single game? A lot of other players, you can pinpoint what you expect from them, in the game.
I know what you mean.
The Bruno, I know what I expect from you in the game, goals and assists, and I expect you to create, and I expect you to help us create chances. Even Casemiro, I expect you to break up the play. I also expect you to be a threat and set pieces, and also defend set pieces, do more of these sort of defensive-minded aspects of being a midfielder, but also progress the ball forward because you've got that passing range. With Kobe, what is it that people expect from him in the game?
I think it's a good question, because we have to still remember with this player, which we haven't remembered very often, of how young he is and how little football he's played in terms of like season after season after season, and how fractured his football has been. So he's gone on a meteoric rise from when he made that debut in like November a couple of years ago, all the way through to the Euros, winning the FA Cup, scoring in the final, the Wolves game, the Everton game, Liverpool wrapping it top bins. Like he had iconic moments in the breakout season, then blighted with injury and fractious stuff that's happening with Man United in terms of the managers, the role, and he couldn't get fit. And then the last manager came in, which was very recent, and said, not for me at all. So didn't play at all. People forget under Ruben Amorim. Yes, in the first season under Ruben Amorim, he didn't know where to play him in his system. He had to be a 10 in Ruben's system and not the 6, because he didn't fancy him. You know what I mean? So it changed everything. So for a young player who we're still trying to learn about these questions that you're asking, we couldn't really ascertain what it is supposed to be, because as quickly as we started to see something, it changed. And then he was out the team. Then he was injured. Then he was out the team again. So I think that we're still actually trying to construct what the best version of Kobe is. And that's okay. What is undeniable, though, I think what's undeniable is that he's got bags of talent. He's got bags of ability. How I see him so far, which is subject to change because you're still not quite sure, but the most consistent sort of traits I see him display is how comfortable he is on the ball, his willingness to go get the ball, his retention of the ball in small spaces. I've seen it. And when he plays further forward, actually, he's got a bit of a strike on him. The Lyon strike, the Liverpool strike, the Wolves strike, to show you can go past a few people. So I see him as, so far, the most evidence I've seen of him is more of a connector a facilitator of the play to help you retain possession better. We want him to be more physical. We have spotted some weaknesses or some gaps in his mobility for sure. But that can be combated by playing in the right system, playing in the right team, and having the right spaces to go and do. Same with Casemiro, because Casemiro's not all of a sudden fast, is he? Now we're saying he's fucking the best midfielder in the league. So that matters. Do you know what I mean? And one more year, please, Stretford End. So now we're singing that from the football's left you at Palace. So that just shows you that if it ain't about the team, it can't be about the team for Casemiro, but not be about the team for the 20-year-old who hasn't even fucking started his career yet properly. And then you see him play at the top level for England with the good players, and he didn't look out of sort. He was unbelievable. So I think you have to kind of look at all of that and not come to a conclusion that this is just some jumped up, overrated kid who's not that good and start trying to write pieces about why he's not good. And you also need to go, this is a kid who still needs time, who still needs to work out the best version of himself, but he's fucking good, man. He's good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's, I kind of haven't answered the question, but I feel like I have, if you get what I mean.
Well, no, it's interesting because I was just putting some of the comments from the chat on the screen, and there's lots of different sort of interpretations or explanations of what people think Cobby should be, and what they want him to be. And I think that, and I think your answer kind of highlights that as well, which is there's lots of different things, and people aren't really sure just yet.
Yes, DJ.
DJ Talks super chatted £9.99. Fans find it hard to pigeonhole Cobby. He's almost a jack of all trades, bit of an 8, bit of a 6, but has scored most goals closer to the number 10 position. Cobby conundrum, man shrugging emoji.
Yeah, that's kind of the question that I was asking. Is that it is kind of difficult to pin him down as to what he is, and I think maybe that's where people sort of start the whole, what's he doing in this game? But maybe they're saying, what's he doing in this game? Because they genuinely don't know, because you don't have to be in today's, football, and with social media being as it is, people want moments, don't they? People want moments. People want highlights.
And GA.
Yeah, they want moments and highlights, and they want comps. And sometimes you might not get that with Cobby, but you can still have a good game, And players evolve, players change. As Gene says there in the chat, he's like 20, He's still figuring out what kind of player he is, and that will change significantly too. He's still developing, right? And this is why we're talking about that's why we're talking about midfielders in the summer. James and myself were talking about this last night on Trafford Talk. The more I think about it, we need like 3 midfielders in the summer. Gascoigne, Ugarte. Sully reported last night that Ugate's not happy because he's not being used and doesn't feel valued. He'll probably go. So that's already 2 midfielders leaving in the summer. And we're saying we need 2 as is. So really, we need probably 3. And we need 3 because we cannot put all of this pressure and expectation on a young kid to sort of spearhead us and pull us out the shit all the time, because we saw what that did to Cobby before. It can ruin a young player. You need to have this ability for a player to go in and out of the team and his role to change, but also to have experience next to him. And the amount of sort of conversation and spotlight on Cobby and figuring out what he is, who he is, what should he be doing, blah, blah, blah. It gets so hyper focused that you sort of forget that he's a young kid. You know what I mean? And he's good. He's good. You know what I mean? He's good. He's a good player. And it is frustrating that whenever we play badly or there's a bit of a negative result or moment in the game, you do get these, where's Cobby now? It's not Cobby's fault.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. It's that people are just out for a gotcha thing with him. And I just think he offers different things. And sometimes, you know what it is? There's this misconception that, like, if you're holding midfielder, which Cobby's kind of been playing in this 4-4-2, in this 4-2-3-1 off the ball, whatever you want to call it, he's kind of been playing that, next to Cass, right? He's a 6, essentially, yeah? But people think that if that person goes under the radar where you didn't really notice them, that's a bad thing.
That game, no.
That's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
If you haven't really noticed your 6 that much, it depends what you're looking for. A lot of the time, that can be a really positive thing, because if they're playing badly, you'll know about it. You'll know about it because there'll be high turnovers. He fucking keeps giving away the ball. We've got no control over the game. Oh, my God, what's going on? The fact that he hasn't done anything eye-catching, like score a goal, like hit the post, like win millions of fights. Yeah, the eye-catching moments. You can forget that actually he's just been a real good constant in your team. And actually, to have really good teams, there's more players that play like that than there is that have the moments. So, you know, there's a lot more players that do the steady thing of like, I just do my job, I'm consistent, rather than everybody else having 8, 9 out of 10s where everyone's getting adulations. It's often the players who are doing the simple things consistently well that help the team more in the long run, rather than a man who goes from a 9 to a 4. Do you know what I mean? Especially in that position.
That's what they say about goalkeepers. You know, the best goalkeepers are the ones you don't notice, you know, because, you know, they're not doing anything to F up. So they're not picking the ball at the back of the net. But at the same time, they're not making spectacular saves because they don't have to, because the rest of the team are doing their thing. And all the sort of, you know, basics of keeping they're doing, whether that's claiming crosses or, you know, just calming the defense down, organizing the defense. So, yeah. And I think that's sometimes been the discussion for a lot of players in this Man United team, because we're so hyper-focused on, like you said, flashy moments, whether it's goals, assists, tackles, big saves, or what have you. Sometimes if you don't notice a player that much, we think that's a bad thing. But, you know, it's a bit like Brian Mbeumo. You know, oh, he's not been doing too much up front. Making a lot of off-the-ball runs, you know, stretching the defense. That might be part of his job, you know, tire him out kind of thing. Or sometimes it happened with Ahmad, didn't it, on the right? Ahmad's not doing very well, but because of the time he played at right wing back, he actually does do his defensive work quite well and gets back in, which sometimes isn't always seen. From a winger as well. He does a lot of off the ball work. So
Exactly.
Yeah, which sometimes goes unnoticed, particularly like on TV. You don't always get the camera angles. You know, sometimes if you're in the stadium, you notice it a little bit more. I tell you what, this guy was following him around all game. I saw it. So yeah, with Cobby, look, the pressure will the pressure will always be on, because, and obviously this season didn't help with the Amram stuff too.
No, that completely killed him. Let's face it. That was that. You know, he was
it heightened.
It got to the
everything.
point where, like, if he did get 8 minutes, remember me and KG were talking about, KG was like, yeah, you know, but if you get that 8 minutes, you've got to have the best 8 minutes ever. You just got to keep believing and show him what he meant. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, that you can't build any momentum off that. The guy clearly said you're competing with Bruno, mate. You're finished under this guy. So much so that we were within a whisker. If Amarim didn't get sacked in January, Cobby would not be at this football club now.
Yeah, he would be out either permanently or on loan. He was going to be gone in January.
And the irony is, he could have actually got back in the England team if he went to Dortmund and started balling out or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Or went to Napoli and was playing every game, and you know he could have still found himself back in the England team. But it just shows that whatever it was, Cobby just needed to play. And you know what? If you think about it, yeah, this is like you saw our reactions, guys. We never condoned the free Cobby t-shirt, but never did. However, if you're in his camp / Cobby, they must be thinking, look, I just needed to play, mate. I've gone from being this guy telling me I'm not good enough, I can't run, it's this, it's that. You got battling with the media just because he's English, you think I have to play. You know, Amrin was really strong on it, right? To, okay, my brother done a madness. He shouldn't have really done that, but he did it. To the most informed team in the league. I've lost one game. You know what I mean? I'm back in the England squad within 3 months.
Yeah.
That is like, no one talked to me. Let's be real. Like, no one talked to me, bro.
And this is when, again, you go back to, this is why I said it several months ago.
Order has been restored.
When you're being negative and all that kind of stuff. But this is when I still do look at Ineos and go, look, you were prepared to sell Cobby Mainoo. You put a price on that, and it wasn't even a massive price. Like you say, let's not forget, yes, we avoided disaster there, but let's not forget how close we got to it. And that, you know, there was a lot of people willing to co-sign a lot of disaster, and also gaslighting that the disaster was actually a good thing. Remember, that was the other part of it. The gaslighting of, no, this is good for Man United. This is good for United. And things have to be completely blown up, broken down before we can rebuild. And there is evidence now that no, you don't. You don't have to. You don't have to lose every week to get better, and you don't have to sell some of your best players to.
You just got to be comfortable, bro. There were people saying about Cobby's character, like, oh, he's just another one putting himself before everything. You know, obviously because the brothers. Listen, I said it then. I still say it now. That was not a good move. Like, essentially, at the time, but weirdly, they got proved right, because really it was like, what do you think this is going to help get Cobby in the team quicker? Now, it didn't directly. It wasn't like it made Amarim play him. Like, Amarim still... The way Amarim actually responded to that, to be fair to Amarim, was was right. He was like, listen, Kobe's not going to play because of the t-shirt, and he's not going to not play because of the t-shirt. He'll play because I think he's the best guy. But that just under Amrim just meant he's just never going to play because we all knew. So that bit, yes, 100%. Like, I still say that, you know, it's not helpful for. I just didn't think it was helpful for Kobe in that situation. That was never going to help his case under Amrim. It wasn't going to make the club sell him quicker, I don't think, by saying, oh, there's pressure from his brother because he's wearing a t-shirt, so let's hurry up and sell him. And it's not going to make Amrim go, there's pressure from the family, let's play him. So that didn't work. But in terms of how quickly it's turned around from what they were saying to just let the kid play, the message is true. And that we did agree with the message. Like, why is he not playing? He should be playing more.
Yeah. Like, certainly he's one of those people that you know, he's been proven right. You talk about point scoring and all that kind of stuff. He is that is where the biggest point scorer. Yeah, he's the biggest point scorer in that. And
especially
also,
if he actually goes.
Exactly. Yeah, and imagine he does well. Imagine he does well, like England win, and he does well, go far. Like oh my goodness me. But also as well, what will get United fans excited, Flex, is of course he's going to be playing alongside some of these midfielders we're also being linked to in the summer. So let's say in a couple of these matches, you know, Kobe does really well alongside Adam Wharton or Elliot Anderson. Do people start getting excited and about those prospects even more? Even though the Anderson one feels less and less likely. But you know what I mean? It'll be like, this is why we have to go get look at them linking up.
Be there. Go and listen, we'll I'm not even gonna be like those people that will, because I will be there doing that. If you know, it's summer, it's football in the summer, major tournament vibes following England. We all know what happens. International football, boring, this, that. When it's tournament vibes, mate, we all lock in. We all believe it's coming home. We all at the edge of our seats. Like, do you know what I mean? It's what we do. It's what we do for everyone does for their country. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're no different. We're probably worse than a lot of countries because we just start moving mad. So yeah, I'm not even going to get onto those people, because if I see Anderson and Kobe in any sort of pivot for any sort of given minutes, I will be there, bro. I will be there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
And it's not only that, it's then, like you said, imagine we do go quite far in the World Cup with that midfield. If it was like a midfield of like a pivot, Kobe and Anthony would be like, bring her that midfield to Man United, bring them to the Prem. It's got to be the, you know, World Cup winning midfilders. Oh God. Oh.
Well, this is the interesting bit, actually. I'm going to do a bit more of this on Football Flex after this, guys, so make sure you guys check it out. But actually, it is going to be interesting where he will see him and how he will see him, what vision he has for Kobe, because obviously Rice is the shoo-in, and the 10 position has become really innocuous now, because it was Morgan Rogers all the way, and his form has gone off a cliff with Villas. He hasn't got a goal or an assist in 7 games.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got a goal or assist last night, to be fair, but I know that was 7 games up until the Man United game, or maybe even after. Jude Bellingham has been injured. Plus, we all know what's gone on with he and Thomas Tuchel. They're still a bit weird.
Yeah.
Eze is starting to the cogs are starting to turn a little bit with him, to be fair. But he's had a largely average season since being at Arsenal. But in this championship run, and he's starting to activate, which is brilliant news for Arsenal fans and England fans. Cole Palmer just hasn't got it going. Like, he needs to be careful that he's not going. Phil Foden has not been in it at all. So the 10 positions up for grabs. And Elliot Anderson is we've got such good players, but not a lot of them are in good form. Not a lot of them are in good form, bro. Do you know what I mean? God. So you add Anderson as the linchpin, as it's his shirt to lose as the 6 next to Rice. But I don't know. Could Kobe take Anderson's place? I'd be surprised.
Very different.
I'd be
players,
surprised,
aren't they?
and I don't know if Anderson and Kobe are on the pitch at the same time. I think
it's quite a young midfield for Tuchel to go for. That, isn't it?
And I think if it depending on what sort of game it is, you sort of ask Declan Rice, because he's got the legs and can run around, to maybe take the Anderson role, and you bring Kobe on, and then let him go and play a bit.
Well, wait a minute, Flex, then. So we're sort of saying there that we're going, I don't think we'll get an Anderson Kobe midfield, and the sort of consensus there might be a bit too young, a bit too inexperienced. You know, both guys there, sort of early 20s. So what would that not be a concern at Man United as well? That you've got 2 very young midfielders in the middle of the park?
Or is that why you need 2 together?
Yeah. It's because this is something we were talking about last night as well. We were saying with Casemiro, And obviously, there's been a lot of pushback with the Bruno Guimaraes one. He's 29. You don't want to spend that much money on him. You haven't learned your lesson from when you signed Cass in the first place. But you do have to replace
No, you
that
need
leadership.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
We can't just have a team full of young players. Every time a player in his 30s move on, we just go, right, we replace him with someone that's like 20 or 21, 22. Because eventually you've got to have senior players. You've got to have senior leadership in there somewhere.
Yeah, you do. And a lot of people in the chat saying, look, Cobby's streets ahead of and levels above Anderson, says Ran. Slice of Sib says Cobby is better than Anderson right now, in my opinion. And listen, I just think they're kind of not chalk and cheese in terms of midfielders, but they are quite different and they offer different things. You have to think like what Tuchel's looking for in terms of what Anderson gives is the legs. He can get about, he's combative, wins a lot of duels. He might see that as the perfect balance of what he's trying to achieve. Not that Cobby's not as good as him, or they just offer different things. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Cobby can get about how Anderson does, but I think on the ball, for sure, and the composure that he's got, I think Cobby's better on the ball than Elliot Anderson.
And to be fair, Anderson's will be 24 in November, to be fair as well. I thought he was a little bit younger than that. So
is it? Is he not 22? Anderson, is he 24?
That's what I said. It says
he's 23.
He's 23, and 24 in November.
There you go. He's 3 years ahead of Cobby. And Anderson's still starting out in terms of senior, because when he moved from Newcastle in that season, he was like in and out as the youngster.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only been the last 2 years where, again, he's only in the first couple of years of his senior, you're the guy vibe. You know what I mean? Cobby hasn't really even had that. Cobby hasn't had back-to-back seasons of being like,
you
play all the time, you're the guy. He still hasn't had it. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, we forget that with him until... That's the thing that's big enough, that's big for Cobby now, is we need to get that from him. And if Carrick stays, that will happen. But he needs to become just that shoe-in. Obviously, not immune from criticism, not immune from, not being in the starting lineup. It needs to be... He needs to be more consistent now in terms of selection and paving that way where he gets back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, and also, with Maguire, huge credit for him to getting back in. Because this is what's funny about England as well. There was this discussion, wasn't there, of actually going, our centre-back options aren't great. So actually, Maguire, he can still get in. With all those players who've got
exactly.
All those great players who've got an attacking sections, defensively, not so much. And look, he's starting every week for United at the moment. So, can't argue. And Man United are third in the league. So he's starting every week in the centre of defence for the third best team in the Prem. That should be enough to get you in your national team squad, one would think, particularly in a squad that, like I said, doesn't have maybe the best defensive option. So huge credit for him. And do you know, I was thinking about Maguire the other day, Flex. Think of his journey, where the fact of just Maguire, him being on the pitch. I remember when he came on under Eric Ten Hag, I think it was in the Manchester derby, he got subbed on, and just him getting subbed on, the collective stadium groaned because they were nervous that he was going to fuck up. As soon as he got onto the pitch, it was like, oh God, Maguire's coming on for 10 minutes here. Oh, we're going to consider, he's going to make a mistake. To now, where look, I still would be like, well, I'm not sure I'd give him a new deal, but to now, where he's actually a reassuring presence in the Manchester United defence. Think of that journey that he has come on, from 80 million, captain, the face of failure, basically, all this, stuff, getting booed and everything, stripped of the captaincy to, like I said, getting subbed on. And when he's getting on the pitch, it actively creates anxiety in the stadium. You can feel it because they don't trust him to go 10 minutes without an error. To now you're going, oh, thank God Maguire's playing today. Some calm, or some steadiness.
You're so right.
That's mad.
You're so right. You're so right. Like all these games we play, 100%. And people don't, and I'm so glad you brought it up because it's something that people maybe don't want to say back the other way because it feels uncomfortable, which they shouldn't. But it's like, yeah, you feel solid with him there. You go, we'll be all right in the box. When there's corners coming in, I go, yeah, okay, he'll find a way. He's not, Maguire is the pillar of our defense as Old Trafford TV. And it's like, it's so true. There is a hesitancy of people to start having that conversation because it goes back to the standards are low. This is why we're in the mud. You got to move him on. Man United in 2026 still relying on Maguire. Meanwhile, they've got Gabriel and this, and they've got Diaz, and they've got, it checked the gay here. It's a different level of thing. But actually, when you just observe the player, take the number and the name off the back, and I said that centre back there, you go, he's all right. Lacks a bit of pace. Probably needs a quick partner, but he's dominant in the air, good on the ball, can read the game pretty well. for how slow he is, probably doesn't get caught out that much running back towards his own goal. Because those days of, the robotic Maguire running back. Remember that? Again, team setup you don't see that side of him. You haven't seen those calamitous sides of him. And then he's obviously got more confident where he's going, yeah, give me the ball. I'm stepping out with the ball. I'm going to organize Lenny next to me. Lenny, hey, get in here. This is what you need to do, bro. So you're right. And that's why we are now in a position where we're looking at it saying we do need centre-backs, but it's not going to hurt us if we keep Harry Maguire. That won't hurt.
And he is a leader. Like, he was made captain for a reason, because he is a legitimate leader. And this is what I was saying last night on Trafford Talk, that I think this is a huge credit to actually Bruno Fernandes, that Manchester United captaincy will break you. That will break you, because you become what, like I said, one of the faces of failure at Manchester United. If Manchester United are doing badly, you're the face of it. Like Bruno, you were 15th and you were the captain. Harry Maguire, you're the captain. You're conceding goals and you're doing this, and you're a fridge, and you're this, you're that. And even for him, maybe it was too much for him. But the way he's been able to recover from that, and now, like I say, that you do feel this kind of sense of security when he's playing, because there'll be some level of consistency. Look, he's still not the best centre back in the world. He'll make mistakes, and like you said, Flex, he'll still get outpaced and what have you. But I do actually like his sort of street sense that he plays with. That kind of street smart of he's which some of our other defenders don't have. He will take a chance, make sure you got hold of a shirt, make sure you do a tactical foul, know that he can get outpaced. Obviously, like you said, win headers and be a bit nasty, but also be a leader. And also with young defenders, like Lenny Yoro, you're really happy that Maguire's playing that alongside him specifically, because he has had some confidence issues, and Maguire's the perfect person to understand that and just go, look, keep it calm, keep it going.
Yeah, because Lenny's not at the level yet. And with his frame and his size, maybe he won't be ever as dominant physically as someone like Maguire. Actually, it was interesting to see Carl Anka. He did a piece about cats and dogs, and he's like, certain centre-backs are a dog and some are a cat. And he's like, Lenny Yoro is like a cat. And that's basically saying, and I know that can sound quite... Carl Anka, proper. But like, I had a brief kind of read, and like I liked what he was saying. Like, the dogs are the big, powerful, aggressive, just that, and the cats are maybe a little bit more elegant,
agile,
quick, agile. You know what I mean? And
Ferdinand Vidic.
Exactly, you can have that, absolutely. But Maguire, against someone like Evan Nilsson, like tonight, let's say, Evan Nilsson's got the ability. If Lenny's not probably playing to his absolute best, Evan Nilsson could probably rough him up a little bit. And we've seen Lenny, struggle a little bit. Who did he play against? Was it Bournemouth last year where that happened? No. Sorry, I'm getting confused. I remember Willy Kambwala played really well against Liverpool, and then we went to Bournemouth away, and I think he got spun. And do you know what I mean? And I don't know if it was. So yeah, there you have it. So I just think Harry Maguire is definitely physically imposing and strong.
Yes, and can just confirm that indeed the England squad has just been announced, and Maguire and Kobbie Mainoo indeed are in. So that has now been confirmed. They are.
Calvert-Lewin in as well.
Yes, Calvert-Lewin. I have to get it up on the screen.
Yeah, bring it up.
There you go.
Let's have a look.
There you got Henderson, Pickford, Ramsdale, Steele, Trafford, Byrne, Gahey, Hall, Konza, Livramento, Maguire, O'Reilly, Kwanzaa, Spence, Stones, and Tomori. And then you've got Anderson, Bellingham, Garner, Jordan Henderson still gets in there. But to be fair, he's actually had a good season with Brentford. But in England squad, my goodness. Yes. Kobbie Mainoo, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, Morgan Rogers, Adam Wharton. You got Bowen, Calvert-Lewin, Eze, Foden, Gordon, Kane, Madueke, Rashford, Saka, and Solanke. It's a big squad, isn't it?
No Watkins. Yeah, I think I don't know if it's because it's for friendlies. Maybe you might be able to pick more. I'm not sure. But also, it definitely has a lot of vibes of having a look at some guys who maybe. Calvert-Lewin's in there. Madueke's back. I don't think he was in the last one. Was he? Someone let me know. Was Wharton injured for the last one?
I forget. There were injuries in the last one. I remember.
There was. Tomori, I don't think he's been called up. That's good. Remember, Tomori was always like, he's gone to AC Milan. No one ever
and one Serie A. Gareth Southgate would never pick him.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Kwanzaa is obviously Leverkusen. Livramento's come back off injury. Yeah, it's interesting. So there's no... Oh, Stones is there. Stones and Gahey are there then. So really, if Stones is fit and ready to go, it is Stones and Gahey really, isn't it?
If Maguire, if he got on the plane, it'd be backup leadership,
Yeah. Oh shit, there's no Trent. There's no Trent. He's starting to play well.
Yeah, he's starting to
Fucking hell, he should have got back in, man. He should have got back in. No Trent. Even not to have a look at him in the last international break before you got to pick the team. No Trent. That's big, you know. Spencer's in there. He's been fucking battling. Nah, where's Trent? I know Trent was injured, but he's come back last few games, no?
He was playing in the Champions League, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he's playing well. You can't have fucking... Spencer's been in and out of Spurs and not been great. Come on, man. You got to have Trent in there. I'm sorry. Trent's got to be... Especially Reece James is injured now as well.
Exactly, yeah.
I was just calling up Trent to have a look.
Yeah,
that's mad.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I was just looking at it. I was like, where's Trent? Other than that, I don't think there's any travesties or anything that's... Yeah, Rodgers is there. Palmer got in. Yeah, I don't think there's any, you know. And look, if people aren't playing well for their clubs within reason, like if like all the name brand guys aren't playing well for their club, you can't leave them all out. There has to be a thing of like, this is the England camp. This is a different setup. This is a different feeling, different tactics, different vibe. Still come. You know what I mean? Because Cole Palmer, as much as he hasn't played well, you can't not bring him, in my opinion.
No. I
just can't.
Oh man, I can't believe another World Cup's on the horizon. That's gone so fast. I remember the last one. That's where
Hakimi for the quarterfinals. Hakimi, Panenka's it. Oh my God, composure.
I've aged since then. I've aged.
That's an all timer. It's an all timer.
It's an all timer.
Panenka's it. Panenka. Panenka Studios, bro.
Panenka Studios, mate. That's where it comes from. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a deep cut, It's a deep cut.
Shit, that was 4
years
ago.
If you know, you
already.
know. I know,
mate. Yeah, Qatar was amazing. Yeah, because I was in Qatar at the time doing some videos over DR.
Yeah, doing your Moroccan dancing.
Oh, it was brilliant, bro. I was going, yeah, put that way. Messi, that way. Oh, it was wicked. I was with the Saudis. I was with the Moroccans. I was with when the Ghana. The story. I'm gonna go back and watch some of that content actually.
Yeah.
The story of when I went to Ghana against. I can't remember who they played, but they had to play Suarez next. They had to play Uruguay next because they beat someone. Someone in the chat. Someone in the chat tell me who Ghana beat, and I was there. I can't remember, but Ghana won, and it set up the rematch of when they got robbed, obviously, by Suarez with the handball in the 2010 World Cup, was that? I can't remember. And I remember interviewing the Ghanaian women after the fans after this woman. I was like, well, you got Suarez next. She goes, yeah, they was going, Ghana, let's go. Suarez will cry. Suarez will cry. Suarez will cry. And they lost. They lost again. I think.
Because you were in the stadium when Saudi beat Argentina, weren't you? In that
I was
game?
there.
And that was crazy, wasn't it? That was insane.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna go back through them videos. Them videos were funny, man. Oh man,
you walk around in your thobe as well.
Yeah, it's sick, bro. Shout out Sheikh Jassim, bro. Sheikh Jassim just had up remember the other Sheikh Jassim. Oh man, unbelievable times, bro. Unbelievable times. And then Messi had the last laugh and won the whole thing.
Won the whole thing.
Put on
got it. Yeah.
Oh, I watched a lot of Argentina now. They were good, man. Rodrigo de Paul, I remember, was just fucking everywhere. He was wicked, man. And that was the birth of Amrabizi. When I was like bringing
after Mbappe.
Said he was better than Declan Rice and everything. Oh god, what was I doing? Oh, that's my worst take ever in football. Then I said that he's better than Amrabat, 25 million. Oh god, fucking hell. Amrabat scored a wicked goal yesterday for Betis.
Hey, I was watching someone the other day.
One of the FA Cup.
They said, look, if you're online, if you're a streamer, a content creator, you're going to take ours, and you just got to take them. You know what I mean? You just got to take them. You got to take them.
The key is not act like you don't. The key is don't act like you shit. Don't stink of like everything I say is right and I'm always right, even though you ain't got a clue. That's the.
Got to take
admit you don't have a clue and admit that you're just a fan. That's the key. Yeah. That's the key. Bro.
Yep. Skull up. That's an hour. Got to take that one. Something I can say about that.
Oh man, that was an all timer though. Saying that on any planet and any season that I think Amrabat is way better than Declan Rice is wild. But hey,
Even the Garnacho stuff comes back to bite you a few times. Doesn't it? People like to circle back.
But that was out of tribalism, though. That was out of, like that was.
I knew
It
you were
was.
going to say
It
that
was.
because you
It
say
was.
that every
It was.
time.
It was.
Every
It was.
time the Garnacho thing gets brought up, you go straight away. You go, that was tribalism. That was tribalism
Yeah.
in football terms. In football terms,
Yeah,
so it's different.
it was. Now, because Toby, fucking look at him crashing out every week at Spurs. I'm not letting him come in and think disrespect. He's Spurs, mate.
With his
And that was
haircut,
before.
his hair,
Yeah, it's
and the construction site.
And because Tobes has got this way about him there. He's brilliant on a big six as well. He's got this way about him that when he starts cussing your guys, like it gets he's like, he's mid. Your guy's mid. And I'm like, don't fucking say that. Don't fucking saying that. You mad? Spurs man coming in here telling my man's mid. Nah. He's got world class potential actually. Fuck off. Listen, man, this is what you got to do. It's that what parents teach you what you do inside the house versus outside the house. Outside the house, you defend the family name, bro. You know what I'm saying? Inside
I just
the
love
house,
you saying that, like full on knowing, going, what I'm saying is shit. I don't know if I believe it. He's got world class potential. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I do actually. You don't know, he's young. Yeah. He's been overplayed. The senior pros ain't been doing their job. He's been played too many games.
He's going to stay by that forever.
Yeah.
I believe.
Sitting on the wall, he was with Rasmus Copy. You know what I mean? So there you go. A long time.
God.
Guys, it is match day. We will see you later on for match day. Does that kick off from 6 p.m., Owen?
Yes, I'll be live from 6 p.m. Kickoff. It's at 8. Team moves will be out at 6:45. Not that there'll be any dramatic changes, but still, we will be live to cover it all.
We will. Check out the Football Flex reaction to the England squad announcement. That is going to be over there. So everyone get involved where you can. Smash a like on the video, people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are out of here. It's game day. We need to get 3 points before we're off for a very long time. Peace.